Hello, this is Doug Marshall from Marshall+Viliesis. Today I had the absolute pleasure of talking to Sara.stern, who is an author and also a certified EOS implementer for family businesses. It was a surprise yesterday
Yeah.
when I saw it pop up that we got this schedule. And I think Sarah, we first got introduced sometime in the summer at the tail end of when you were finishing up your book, and then you were going to take a few weeks for yourself to
Yes. Yes, that's
heal
right.
from that
Yeah.
process. And I even have the
Gosh,
book
you're
with me.
amazing.
I
Thank you.
both of them,
Wow. Oh my
and
gosh. That's so
they,
cool.
they've got some really great nuggets in it. So what I want to start with is tell me a little bit about these books, your motivation for putting them together, and who they are intended to. I'd love to hear the story because I know it's a lot of work putting it together.
Oh, well, thanks for getting the books and wanting to talk about them. The first book, Start Here, was inspired because I had so many conversations with family businesses, starting when I was at the Family Business Center, and they just didn't know where to start with succession. There's all
Mm-hmm.
this information about what to do during it, before it, after it, but they just didn't know where to start. And I wanted to create something super practical as a starting line. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. It's helping them figure out what is the legacy they're trying to create? What are their values as a group of owners? Where do they want ownership to be in 10 years? What's their philosophy around owning the business? So number one, I wanted something practical. And, gosh, it's like writing a book. You start with a blank page and you don't know what to do. So I wanted to give them a
Mm-hmm.
starting space. The spouse book, Married to the Family Business, I kind of jokingly say it was written out of a fit of rage, which is way more extreme than reality. But I was irritated by two things. One was I talked to a lot of family business owners, and they'd have, three kids, all working in the business, two of them qualified, one not qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, why are you keeping them employed? And they'd say, oh, my mom or my aunt or my uncle or my spouse says I can't fire them. And I know, or I want to believe those people are insisting on employing those family members out of a good place, like good intentions, but it's insanely destructive to the business when things like that happen. And that's not the only example. It's just a really common one. So I started thinking, where can we send spouses so they stop doing that? And there's not a place. There's no place. So I realized in my fit of rage, if you will, that I needed to write a book. And I'm actually just last week putting the finishing touches on a masterclass for spouses, because there's nothing out there. There's no classes. There's no schools. There's no place for them to go to learn. So
Is
I
that your
just did
second
it.
surprise announcement?
It is my
Okay,
surprise
we'll get to
announcement.
that. We'll get to that later.
Okay,
So
that's it. Yep.
so you had it in your mind that you're going to do the Start Here book. Did the Married to the Business book come later?
It did. It
Because
did.
they both came out about the same time, didn't they?
Well, one came out actually. The Start Here book came out several years ago, but I was, well, I'll just be super honest. I was just so nervous about marketing it that I didn't say much.
Okay.
So when I did the Start Here book, I think I had a lot more wind in my sails and a lot more just a feeling that I had to get this out there in the world. So then I started marketing both of them a lot more.
All right. So
Yeah.
you are an EOS certified implementer.
Yes.
And hopefully people watching this will understand what that means. But what I find fascinating about you is that you've gone down this road of really focusing in, for the most part, on the business that's a family business where there are multiple family members involved, as opposed to a business where just one member of the family is running it and all of the employees are outside. So how do you approach EOS differently, if you do, when it's a family business like what you work with, as opposed to what people would think is a more traditional type of business?
I think I'm going to have a disappointing answer
Uh-oh.
to that question, to that super good question. But I actually, what I was looking for when I found EOS was an amazing tool to help them run really healthy businesses.
Mhm.
And so EOS was the ultimate tool that I found. And when Gino Wickman created EOS, when he started thinking about it, he was working with his own dad.
Mhm.
So I don't change EOS very much. I feel like Gino Wickman actually created the family business operating system.
Mhm.
But I like to say, saying the word entrepreneurial is so much easier than saying family
Mhm.
business. So that's what he called it. So bad jokes galore with me, but it's a incredible tool to help family businesses. There's a couple things that I probably do, which is I'm maybe a little more strict sometimes than other EOS implementers. I don't let them monkey around with having two visionaries or two integrators, things like that. I'm very, very rigid on there's one person per seat on things like the accountability chart, which again, I know your whole audience doesn't know these mumbo jumbo language I'm using here, but basically you can't have two leaders of the business. You have to have one. You have to have one tiebreaker. You have to have one person running.
I know one short video clip that I've seen of you off of YouTube. You do talk about the amazing tool of the Vision Traction Organizer and how that has really helped you use that in working with families and that get them on the same page, right?
Yeah. And the Vision Traction Organizer in, layman's terms is a one-page strategic document. And it's so valuable for family businesses, especially second, third, or fourth, fifth generations. Unfortunately, a lot of family businesses, their entire vision is something like, don't kill grandma's baby, meaning the business, right? And they don't actually have a shared vision. So that Vision Traction Organizer is crazy powerful to help them actually have a vision for the business that isn't just what the founding person had.
And in that video I watched, I believe that you also pointed out that it allows the next generation to make it their own without, killing grandma's baby.
Yes, absolutely.
But, they can take their vision onto the next level and keep it fresh. So it's not a failure. Yes. It's just not a dying thing on the vine.
Yes, it's so powerful. And things on the Vision Traction Organizer that really help keep it connected to, grandma's initial idea is the core values and the core focus that almost always points back to that founder. And then the next generation can say, where do we want to be in 10 years? Who's our ideal market? What does 3 years from now look like? And that's their own vision, but it's still connected to that, that initial seedling that was the first idea for the business.
Do you find core values change over time?
I do. I think there's threads that are always absolutely the same, but different generations will have a different way of thinking about core values and who the right people are to work in the business, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good stuff. So let's finish up with that thing you were really scared to do the other day, and that was to make this announcement that you're putting some stuff out there that people may or may not respond to. It's the 2 workshops. I've seen the one. Talk about the first one, talk about the second one, and then I'll add some information on the tail end of this video.
Great.
How to look at, how to contact you and how to connect into that, because I think that this is some good stuff.
Thank you. Wow. I didn't know this was going to be the world premiere. So thank you for this opportunity. It is everything. This is incredible. So the first workshop is one I've actually done a couple times before. I've created a 3-hour workshop for EOS implementers and for fractional integrators for EOS companies who want to work with family businesses and do that really well. So that's the first one. The second one that I haven't officially announced, other than right now at this moment, is a 5-part series. It's a master class for the spouses of family business owners, and it really is made for the spouses. And that will launch on March 4th, which I love. I love that day because it's a sentence. I think it's funny that it's a sentence. Let's March 4th. And I love that my name is a sentence, Sara.stern. So I have to stick with that trend there.
Well, that's great. I hope that is successful for you.
Thank you.
Your style is you have that teachable type of style, and you communicate.
So. Thank you.
So this is all good. Like I said, I will make sure that people know how to contact you. I do believe that using EOS in a family type of business can definitely help things move along forward. And congratulations on putting the 2 books out there as well. There are a lot of great little nuggets in those books, and so I talk about them with different people. I go, if you're looking to get unstuck and you're just looking for some ideas, here's a really simple place for you to go, and you might relate to 1 or 2 pages or the whole thing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Really, really, really appreciate that.